Jacksonville. He's Hacker.
Talk about a fried egg. I lasted about 5 minutes out there. I said, to heck with this. I'll do this in the morning. And I don't have any inside information. The lady that did it, she got in there. She made it happen.
And he doesn't shy away from opinion.
And I do enjoy drinking cold beer at ballparks. So if that makes me a baseball fan, then I'm a diehard baseball fan.
It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
And a very good Wednesday evening to you, Jacksonville. It is Hacker After Dark, 1010XL 92.5 FM with Dylan Denmark. The Hacker Ryan Green with you. Glad you are with us as the first of the two joint practice sessions between Tampa Bay and Jacksonville is in the rear view mirror. I was down there earlier today at the Miller Electric Center. A lot of things to discuss, man. I thought all in all, it was a pretty good day for the Jacksonville Jaguars with one pretty big caveat. We'll get into all that in a moment. My training camp one-on-one after practice today, I had the opportunity to speak with linebacker Ventrell Miller. You will hear his comments, that conversation coming up in less than 15 minutes. I mentioned with Rick earlier, scheduled to have former Jaguar defensive end Reggie Hayward in studio with me at about 8:30 this evening. Reggie's got two sons on the Providence High School football team. Again, high school football kicks off. The kickoff classics are Friday night. The regular season begins a week from Friday. And there's a lot of great stories in high school football from Mandarin and their just countless number of D1 guys. Their safety's going to Miami. Their quarterback's going to Florida State. Their wide receiver's going to announce on August 30th. He can go literally wherever he wants, and Jamie French. They got a Michigan commitment. They got a Maryland commitment. Miami is a great story. Mandarin is a great story. St. Augustine might have one of their best teams in a long, long time. A lot of people love Raines, who's led by Solomon Thomas, the big five-star offensive tackle committed to Florida State. But Providence is a unique story as well, as four former Jacksonville Jaguars, I believe all guys that were on the 07 team, the team that went into Pittsburgh and won in the playoffs, all are coaching at Providence and all have kids on that football team. So just one of the unique stories in our high school football community as the season gets ready to kick off. We'll talk with Reggie Hayward about that, and we'll also throw a couple of Jaguar things at him as well. That comes up. Scheduled to come up in less than a half an hour. So we're absolutely jam-packed. We are glad you are with us. It's a ton of Jaguars. We'll also get the Tampa Bay side of things tonight. Our guy in Tampa, Zach Blobner, WDAE Radio in Tampa, as we'll talk about the Bucs and their joint practices up here, and, of course, the game coming up on Saturday night at Everbank Stadium. So we're glad you're with us. We're with you until 10 o'clock. Every night here on Hacker After Dark, we do kick it off with a big deal of the night and Dylan Denmark. Let's do that right now.
Time now for the big deal of the night.
What's the big deal? What is the big deal?
No big deal.
It is a big deal.
On Hacker After Dark.
I'll tell you what's a big deal, and that's the Jaguar offense. That's primarily what I watched today on the two fields out of the Miller Electric Center. One field was the Jags offense versus the Buccaneer defense. The exact opposite on the other field, it was the Jags defense against the Buccaneer offense. I'll focus more on that tomorrow. But I was right next to the Jaguar offense going up against that Tampa Bay defense. A Tampa Bay defense, mind you, that has a defensive head coach, a defensive-minded head coach in Todd Bowles. They're a very good defense with Vita Vea and Antoine Winfield and Levante David, just to name a few. Now, again, these joint practices, they're not tackling to the ground. They're not hitting the quarterback. There is some physicality. There is some thumping going on out there, but it's not a game-like scenario because you don't tackle, wrap up, and take somebody to the ground. The whistle blows pretty much immediately after contact. Having said that, a couple of things really stood out today as far as the Jacksonville offense. Number one, I thought it was a great day for Trevor Lawrence. I thought he looked sharp. There was a corner, a seam route to Brian Thomas that I'm sure you've seen the video of on social media that's blowing up. That was a great throw. He made a throw to Parker Washington in the corner of the end zone right by the pylon. That was just a beautiful throw, a beautiful catch. Man, I'm telling you, Gabe Davis is going to be a problem for defenses. I talked to so many people nationally that did not like that signing here in Jacksonville, and I told him at that point, I think you're wrong. I like Gabe Davis. Denmark, you can vouch for me, and I've said it in every interview over the last 3 or 4 months. I think they got him at a good deal at $13 million a year. And anybody that I would talk to, I'd say, listen, the guy just turned 25. Just turned 25. He's got 28 career touchdowns. Oh, but Hacker, he only has 48 receptions for a single season. That's his high. Well, okay. Everybody's got a flaw until they don't. Remember, Christian Kirk had flaws in Arizona until he no longer has flaws. I think something very similar for Gabe Davis. He had a couple of routes today that were just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Trevor hit him right in the number. Bam. I like Gabe Davis. I like him a lot. I'll tell you as well, today was the best training camp practice for Brenton Strange. And it's funny, it's kind of ironic. I was talking to some of my brethren, some of my Jacksonville media colleagues out there today, and telling them, well, that 2023 draft class is looking, the arrow's pointing up on a lot of those guys, with the exception of a couple, and Brenton Strange was one of the exceptions. And no more than 2 minutes after I said that, Brenton Strange caught a touchdown pass with Levante David covering him. And it was a nice catch. Brenton Strange had another nice catch on the opposite sideline. The best training camp practice so far in 2024 for Brenton Strange. I'll tell you another guy's Elijah Cooks, man. Elijah Cooks was cooking, pun intended, today. He caught a deep route from Mac Jones, one of the plays of the practice. He also caught a really nice middle route about 20 yards downfield, had to go to the ground, catch a low throw, but he got it. First down. I don't know how you cut Elijah Cooks. I don't think you do. The only conceivable way that Elijah Cooks is not on the 53-man roster is if there is just a gigantic red flag on him for special teams. And it has to be a gigantic red flag. I saw enough out of Cooks last year. I've seen enough out of him in OTAs and minicamp, and I certainly saw enough today. Again, unless it's a special teams issue, and it better be a big one. I mean, it better be a monumental one. I don't know how Elijah Cooks doesn't make this team. So there was a lot of good today. Parker Washington continues to do really well. I mentioned that route to the pylon. It's a good throw by Trevor. It was a great catch by Parker Washington. Terrific catch. Now, the one big caveat that I mentioned. Some of those plays, not all of them, but some, I don't think would have ever happened in the regular season. I think Trevor's going to be on his back. Remember, Tampa can't hit Trevor in a joint practice, just like Jacksonville didn't hit Baker Mayfield. I thought in the one-on-one pass blocking drills, the offensive line held their own. I thought the one-on-one drills, the offensive line probably won a majority of those, quite frankly. When it came to the team period, it was a different story. That Tampa Bay D-line was getting pushed. Vita Vea, who's just seeing him in person. It's one thing to see these guys on television. I mean, at this point, I'm so used to seeing the Jaguars, it doesn't really affect me how massive some of these guys are. But then you get Vita Vea walking 5 feet in front of you this morning. That guy is a grown man. I mean, a grown man. And he won a lot of battles in the interior today. Got a lot of push on the Jaguar interior offensive line. Jaguars need to clean that up. No question about it. So there's a caveat. But as far as the receivers, the tight ends, Trevor, heck, the other quarterbacks, thought it was a good day. I thought it was a very, very good day. Again, that was my primary focus. I didn't focus as much on the defense versus the Buccaneer offense. I'll try to do more of that tomorrow. But we did have the opportunity earlier today at the Miller Electric Center to hear from Jaguar defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen. Now, my conversation with Ventrell Miller, I asked Ryan Nielsen about Ventrell Miller and Christian Braswell, honestly, who I'm going to talk to tomorrow night. I asked him about both guys. We'll play that in a moment. But the big story today on defense, the activation of Eric Armstead off the PUP. And what does Eric Armstead's arrival now mean for Ryan Nielsen and this Jaguar defense?
Yeah, so he's been here since, he came here in the offseason, and so we spent a lot of time together, just kind of in and out. You have breakfast or lunch, you see him around the building. Awesome guy, football guy. He's a really good person, really into it. Helps the players a lot. 10-year career, a lot of success, a couple of Super Bowls that he's gone to. And so you get that whole experience. It's invaluable. Looking forward to getting him back, get him through some walkthroughs and things like that. But he's been all locked in. Couldn't say enough good things about him, really.
There you go, the thoughts of Jaguar defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen. Thank you to the good folks at Jaguars.com for that audio. And look, Eric Armstead, we haven't even seen him yet. You put him in the middle with Devon Hamilton, with Trayvon Walker, with Joshua Hines-Allen. Can't wait. Eric Armstead, you want to talk about, I mentioned Vita Vea. Eric Armstead's another one. That's a dude, man. He is huge. I mean, huge. And I cannot wait to see him in the middle of that Jaguar defense. A couple of young guys in their second year that were part of the 23 draft class. I'm talking to one of them tonight, Ventrell Miller. You'll hear that conversation in less than 10 minutes. I'm actually talking to the other one tomorrow, and that's Christian Braswell, the corner. Both guys, common thought among we in the media is that both guys have had very good camps. Both guys have been active. And both guys have opened some eyes. The guy to ask about that's Ryan Nielsen, right? The defensive coordinator. I asked him if he agrees with the thought that Miller and Braswell are having good camps to this point.
Yeah, I think so. The body of work's been pretty good. Haven't been like a bad day. It's always been, the guys keep getting better and better and better. It's a credit to the players. They've really, those two guys and with the whole, they've really focused in on doing their job and fundamentals and technique at their position within the scheme. And those two guys are a great example of, where we started OTAs, and then, man, the last couple of weeks, you've seen them take the next step and the next step and the next step. And then, on Saturday night, they made some really good football plays and things that they've done in practice. So as we're watching it, it's like, hey, they did that in practice, and then there it shows up in the game. So it's really cool to see.
Ryan Nielsen, again, Jaguar defensive coordinator. Quickly, before we go to the Ventrell Miller conversation, the one thing that's cool about both guys, really, Miller and Braswell, both guys just didn't get to play last year due to injury. Miller got hurt in the preseason, right? His year was over. Braswell just kept having, 2-week injury here and a 3-week injury there and a 1-week injury there. And by the time you added all those up, lo and behold, his rookie season was over. You never really got to see Braswell. You certainly didn't get to see Miller on the field in the regular season. Now they've had an entire offseason. Both guys are healthy. And both guys are making an impact, man. There's no doubt about it. In fact, check that. Ventrell Miller has a club on his hand, and he's still out there participating in every drill, even team drills. I don't know what he did to his hand. I'll ask him, but he's got basically just a huge club. I mean, he can't wrap anybody up with that thing. You've seen football players wear them. I mean, it's gigantic. He did something to his hand. But nevertheless, he's still out there getting after it and making nice plays, making an impact for this Jaguar defense. I'm a big fan of both guys. That's why I'm going to talk to both guys. And we'll begin tonight with Jaguar linebacker Ventrell Miller. That's our training camp one-on-one. And that comes up next with Dylan Denmark. I'm the hacker Ryan Green. Jacksonville, we're glad you're with us. It is a Wednesday evening. And you got it right here. Hacker After Dark, 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
What is this?
Jacksonville Sports Radio.
We have hope. Rebellions are built on hope.
With the power to save the planet. Or at least sports radio in Jacksonville.
They are requesting a call sign. It's
1010XL.
Awaken 180 weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. It's life-changing. That's the best way I can describe it. It's absolutely life-changing. all the health benefits that come with it, but just other things like the compliments, man. I'm down there earlier today at training camp. I can't tell you how many security guards, fans, media colleagues continue to say, Hacker, you look great. Hacker, that's awesome, man. I'm so proud of you. You know what that means to a guy that was way, way overweight no more than 5.5 months ago? It's an amazing feeling, and it's all thanks to the great folks at Awaken 180. They have absolutely changed my life for the better. If you need to lose weight, and I needed to lose a ton of weight, if you're in that department, or even if you need to lose 20, 30 pounds, they're your answer. 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com. They can change your life. I know this because they've absolutely changed mine. It's Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Attention skilled electricians, are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
You're gonna feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, an asphalt marketer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Sheldon Fish. Today's category, air conditioner repair experts in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I bet it's gonna be Bueller.
Your question. Unlike Jacksonville, the Sahara Desert has a complete lack of air conditioner repair experts. What kind of camels do they ride?
That's not really a question about air conditioner repair.
5 seconds.
But that's a camel question.
Pick a camel, Sheldon.
Arabian dromedary.
That's right, Sheldon. Like the majestic Arabian dromedary, the skilled technicians at Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair any make and model of air conditioner the same day you call, making sure you are cool.
They don't spit, do they?
No, but Steve, the new guy, has a bit of a hump.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
It's not just about relaxing. Fishing can be exciting.
That's a big fish in the box right there.
Captain Kevin and the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show. Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Veterans Wholesale Cabinets.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010 a.m.
For a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 August 24th at Daytona, answer this question. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010.
Googan Nation, it's Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here to tell you this is no dream. The folks at Dreamfinders Homes right now have an unbeatable interest rate for you. You may not think you can afford a Dreamfinders home. Well, think again. Take advantage of a 2.99% year one rate. I said it, 2.99%. 15 Jacksonville communities to choose from. Find that dream house and take advantage of an unbeatable rate. Move now, literally. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Lauren Brooks here. Circa Resort and Casino has an incredible all-in package for Duval in December. For only $500 tax and resort fee included, get a 3-night stay at Circa, $200 food and beverage credit, plus a day bed at Stadium Swim. With 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive screen, it's the world's largest hot tub party. Join us Heels Friday night for a Jacksonville pep rally with specials and giveaways. To book the Jacksonville Game Day Getaway and join the Heels in Vegas, visit circalasvegas.com today.
Brackish Vodka, the official vodka of UNF Athletics, 100% made in Jacksonville, is available at all local liquor stores. Visit Browdy's, Total Wine, ABC, Shores, Golden, Sahara's, Golden Ox, and more. Drink our gluten-free San Francisco Spirit award-winning vodka and see why it's the smoothest vodka you can buy. When you drink Brackish Vodka, you support all of our local employees and all the money stays in Jacksonville. Drink Brackish Vodka and live life slightly salty. Proud partner of the Jaguars.
Expert Automotive is ready to keep you cool this summer. Right now, get an AC inspection or a system cooling checkup. Your choice for only $19.99. Their gift to you this summer is $50 off any service and a free tire rotation with any service. Their ASE certified technicians can keep your car cool without breaking the bank this summer. Call them at 374-3373 to get an appointment today. Expert Automotive. They never sell greed, only what you need.
If you're searching for a new fence installation, challenge yourself to find a fence company with more positive online reviews than Superior Fence and Rail. With over 3,000 reviews and a 4.9 out of 5 review range, Superior Fence and Rail is, well, superior. So take the online challenge or let their professional team show you what superior service looks like. Superior Fence and Rail, where quality matters.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Are you a meat lover searching for quality cuts? Southern Steer Butcher uses a vacuum tumbler to marinate and tenderize our chicken and world-famous steak tips.
Now open in Ortega. For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Hacker After Dark, 1010XL, 92.5 FM. Former Jacksonville Jaguar defensive end Reggie Hayward and a couple of his sons, his two kids that are playing at Providence. Reggie's a coach out there. That's a pretty cool story what's going on at Providence. A bunch of former Jaguars on the staff at Providence. One of the great high school stories, along with Mandarin and all the great players on Greenland Road. We know about Raines, St. Augustine. Keep in mind, high school football kicks off Friday night with the Kickoff Classic. We're going to talk to Reggie Hayward. We're going to talk to his son, one a tight end, one a defensive lineman. That comes up in studio in less than 15 minutes. From a former Jaguar to a current Jacksonville Jaguar, linebacker Ventrell Miller entering his second year. It'll be his first year on the field, coming back from an Achilles, and I got to tell you, he's looked very, very good out there. The linebacker from the University of Florida. Earlier today out at the Miller Electric Center, I had the opportunity to catch up with Jaguar linebacker Ventrell Miller. All right, Miller Electric Center, Jaguars and the Buccaneers wrapping up a joint practice. We got Jaguar linebacker Ventrell Miller here with us. Ventrell, how are things out there today?
It's been a grind, just grinding, trying to get better each and every day. So, getting in on the little things and trying to get better.
Looks like a lot of good work against another NFL team. I know you guys are probably tired of hitting each other. What is it like competing against the Buccaneers?
I feel like it just brings a little bit more action when you got somebody else coming into your home. So the intensity is just a little higher, I'd say, trying to make a play even more.
3 weeks into training camp, I talked to Doug Peterson today about you, and obviously you've had a very good camp. And Ryan Nielsen says the same thing. What does it mean when you hear your coaching staff kind of talk about you individually as a guy that's had a good camp?
I mean, it feels good. Little pat on the back, but I keep going. Never get satisfied with what people say. I always continue to grow and get better. So
we see the red jersey. We look at the hand here. How's the process?
It's been smooth. I got like a 4-6 week. I'm in this club, so I'm been in it for a little bit, but still grinding with it on. So it's been passionate about football. So I'm going out there.
He was white a couple of days ago. Yeah. Doug Peterson called it the Q-tip. He's got the Q-tip on. I mean, the fact that you're still out here, still able to do things. I mean, that shows the want to, the desire that you have.
Yeah, I feel like just being resilient. I've always been really resilient since playing football. Been through a couple injuries, so just know how to deal with it. Keep coming out, trying to fight, get better.
You mentioned Ryan Nielsen. We talk about the linebackers, Devin Lloyd, Foye Alukin, but man, Chad Muma, Caleb Johnson, Andrew Parker. That linebacker room looks really deep this year. Talk about those guys.
Yeah, for sure. The goal this year is to have the best linebacker unit in the country. So we push each other to go out here and work each and every day and continue to get better, I say.
The defense is having a good time out there every day. There's no question about it. It looks a little different than it did last year, to be honest, from a media perspective. What is it like playing for Ryan Nielsen?
A lot more energy, I'd say. He always coach attacking aggressive, so people playing fast, getting lined up fast, having your eyes on your keys and stuff like that. And I know I bring some of the energy from the sideline, just yelling out there, I'd say. But it's been fun. It's been fun so far.
You're going up against an offense with Gabe Davis and Christian Kirk and Brian Thomas, who's just over here right next to us. I mean, what is it like competing against those guys every day?
Well, them boys come with it every day. We always continue to work, get each other better. So it's been a grind every day. We come out and help each other get better, I'd say. It's been good going against those guys.
3 weeks into camp. Is this the dog days, or is it still fresh?
Yeah, the dog days, the legs starting to get a little bit more heavy. But it's been fun, though. Keep flying around, keep grinding. That's how it's supposed to feel. That's how you want to put yourself through that so you can get better.
And the last calendar year you've had, obviously what happened last year with the injury and the fact that you're doing so well this year, I mean, the process to get back and now that you're performing the way you are, what a journey it's been the last calendar year for you.
Yeah, it's been definitely been a grind. Long little off-season recovery period, I'd say, rehab and grinding in here every day. But it's starting to pay off. It seems like it's starting to pay off. But keep grinding, keep stacking those days. Yeah.
Did you get to talk to Kyle Trask out there today?
I just spoke to him for a second. The man, the myth, the legend out there. So it was always good to see my boy Kyle.
All right, Ventrell, final question. 2.5 weeks away from Miami, man. What the Gators got for him on August 31st?
Man, y'all know them Gators coming. I just want y'all to know y'all talking about only 4 wins, but we're going to show y'all.
There you go, Ventrell Miller. We appreciate it, buddy.
All right, appreciate that, Ryan.
There you go, Ventrell Miller here with us on Hacker After Dark. I think he's going to be in for a big year. I like the linebacker room. We knew last year it was all about Foye Oluokun and Devin Lloyd, and certainly big years for those guys. Foye with the contract extension, Devin Lloyd coming into year 3. We'll see about that 5th-year option. But I like what I've seen out of Chad Muma this preseason. I like what I've seen out of Ventrell Miller this preseason. Caleb Johnson's a good special teams player. Andrew Parker's an undrafted free agent that's done some nice things. That goes back to my whole thought on the roster. There's a lot of depth this year, man. It is the deepest roster by far since Trent Baalke arrived here in Jacksonville as the Jaguars GM. More on the Jaguars coming up. In fact, let's talk with a former Jacksonville Jaguar. Defensive end Reggie Hayward was a terrific player on those late 2000 teams. He is now on the coaching staff at Providence with a lot of his former Jaguar teammates. What's also cool about it is his 2 sons play for him at Providence High School, one on the defensive line, one's an offensive guy. How did Reggie Hayward's kid get on the offensive side of the ball? We'll talk about all that next. A little high school ball as the season kicks off on Friday night. It's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The station that's not afraid to trade a little paint.
Look out.
This Sunday at Michigan International Speedway. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234. From Jacksonville's NASCAR station, 1010XL.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Hey gang, Hicken here for Zero Res. Man, it is hot outside this time of the year. Many of us are staying inside or going to the pool. Well, my friends at Zero Res are also heating things up. As you know, Zero Res does a great job of cleaning carpets and rugs, but they also clean luxury vinyl planking, tile and grout, fine stone and hardwood floors. And right now, the hottest price of the year, 25% off all hardwood cleaning. That's 25% off tile, LVP, fine stone, and hardwood floors. Zero Res, man, spell it forward. Zero Res, spell it backward. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
The Reggie Hunt Memorial Golf Classic fundraiser golf tournament is Friday, October 25th at Amelia River Golf Club. All proceeds support Big Brothers Big Sisters. Register at the Big Brothers Big Sisters events page.
When they were little, the other girls played with dolls.
Aww.
They played with footballs.
Who's that? Yes, it's us.
Helmets and heels.
From the First Coast Lighting Studios at 1010XL.
Weekdays noon to 2.
Some girls have all the fun.
This is your Mad Dad's Update with Chapter President Donald Ford. In our effort to curb crime, drugs, and violence during the summer months, we are offering Friday Night Lights. It has already started and will be going until school starts back. It is every Friday night from 6:30 to 9:30 at the Blacktop, 5732 Normandy Boulevard, and behind the Potter's House Christian Academy. We manage 3 basketball courts. You are not running on the cement. We have covering on each court. The Lakers, the Magic, and the Heat. Ages 15 to 40 years old. This will give them something to do other than selling drugs and getting into trouble. We have monitors there giving leadership. We have to wake up, stand up, and speak up. Hit me on Facebook and tell me what you think. Or matt-jacksonville.com.
Here's your 1010XL community calendar of local events and nonprofit groups helping people here at home.
It's poker with a purpose. The Hold'em for Life Texas Hold'em Tournament at Blessed Trinity Parish Hall benefits the Women's Help Center with a focus on expectant mothers and newborns. If you'd like to play or sponsor, call 904-868-8873.
Help make Jacksonville safer and play a round of golf at the First Coast Crime Stoppers Golf Tournament, October 21st at Amelia River Club.
If you could benefit from a grief and loss support group, call Haven Hospice at 279-1677.
Having a mentor can positively change a young life right here in Jacksonville. It only takes 4 to 7 hours a month to be a big brother or big sister and change a life forever. Become a big today at bbbsnefl.org.
You can find out how to share your community event at 1010XL.com.
Hey, Hicken here. I want to talk skin along with my friends at Beaches Dermatology, reminding you to wear your sunscreen. Football season is back, baby. And with that, days under that bright sun. So when you load up that truck for the game day tailgate, or the chairs for your kids' flag games, or even the boat heading downtown to watch our Jags, make sure you bring the screen. Sunscreen, that is. It's a must here in Duval. But if you have any concerns right now, give Beaches Dermatology a call online at beachesdermatology.com.
At Hidden Hills Golf Club, we truly love the game of golf. We invite you to book your next tee time here and enjoy a golfing experience that you might not find at other public facilities. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com. You'll be glad you did.
Raid wants to know, what would you do if you could confidently face every day knowing you and your loved ones are protected? Would you sing along to your favorite song at the top of your lungs? Turn off the GPS and let your heart do the guiding. Go to the drive-thru and order one of everything. Feel the buzz of confidence of knowing you are protected with 65 years of insect science in your hands. Raid. Protection for everyone.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
It's that time of year. Jaguar training camp going on. Heck, the college football season begins in 10 days. Florida State, Georgia Tech over in Dublin, Ireland to kick off the 2024 college football season. And high school football really begins on Friday. You got the kickoff classics, and the regular season begins on Friday night, August the 23rd. There's a lot of great stories on the high school gridiron all over Northeast Florida. Duval, St. John's, Clay, Nassau, you name it. One of the cool stories resides at Providence this year, and I'm joined by Reggie Hayward in studio. His son Sam and Israel are also with me. First off, Reggie, former Jaguar defensive end, glad you're joining us, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Hey, we always appreciate it. And it is a cool story in that you, along with, 3, 4, 5 of your former Jaguar
Correct.
teammates, are all on the coaching staff of Providence coming into 2024. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, it happened with Maurice Williams. He got the head coaching job at Providence, and then he immediately recruited everyone that he knew that knew something about football. And so he tapped on me, Greg Jones, Roy Miller. We have Joe Zelenka, who runs our special teams and a little bit of tight end work.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we have Chris Zigerman. I didn't play with Chris, but he played with the Jaguars a little bit before I got there, and he's working O-line. So all of us actually have children on the team. We're trying to, teach them. Like, it's amazing, like, how much football we forgot. Like, I've been when I first got this thing, I was trying to give my son and his teammates too much information. And I remember I had to dummy this thing down. And it's some first steps that they don't know. So, like, when I got in a good groove of saying, okay, let me bring it back some, let me get to the foundation of playing these certain positions, we've been rolling ever since.
What is it like being a coach, but also being dad to your two boys here?
You know what? I try to keep the dad portion off the football field, because I don't want them to see me just nagging at them. I want them to see me coaching them. Like, what I'm telling you is how to do it correctly. You're not doing it correctly, and then I walk away. I'm not going to sit there and just scream at them constantly. And as they're getting older, I'm screaming less at them. They understand it. They know what's going on. And if I'm screaming at them, it's because they really messed up. But these kids are pretty solid, and all I have to tell them to do is watch their keys. Just work hard. Let everything happen the way it's supposed to happen. Most of the time, I'm telling them, hey, that's not your play. Have trust in your teammates. That's someone else's gap. Do your job. And for the most part, they're rolling.
Former Jacksonville Jaguar defensive end Reggie Hayward here with me. We'll get to the offensive guy in the family in just a moment.
Yeah.
Before we get there, let's go to your son, Sam. You're also on the defensive line.
Oh, yes, sir.
Now, you've gotten some college offers, and we'll talk about that in a moment, but you play a position that your dad thrived in the NFL, man. I mean, do you realize what a beast your dad was there for about 4 or 5 years in the NFL?
I do a little bit. He used to show me some of his clips. He almost got a touchdown on one of them. One of our lines. But,
I mean, you have 20 sacks, 19 sacks in 2 years?
Yeah.
Your last year in Denver and your first year here in Jacksonville.
So I went in Denver, I went 8.5, and then 10.5, and then I signed with the Jaguars, went 8.5 with the Jaguars. And the following year, I popped my Achilles.
Yeah, the Achilles went the first game of the second year. But Sam, what's it like to play for your dad and play the same position your dad played?
It's fun. You know, I really do appreciate my dad and all he does for me. I know that he's probably one of the best coaches out here for it. And, you know, he really rides me. He wants me to get better. He wants me to thrive, and I can feel that. And it's I'm a little nervous.
Well, no, you're good. I'm nervous too, believe me. I've only done this for 22 years, but I get nervous every night. You have offers. You have, a handful of offers, 5 or 6 offers. Now, I saw you had an offer from your dad's alma mater, which piqued my interest, the Iowa State Cyclones.
Let's go.
So there's, loyalty there, I'm sure. But where are you in your college decision-making process right now?
In my college decision-making process, I'm really just focused on football. We're worried about the next game, and the college will come, and they'll see me perform, and it'll just naturally happen.
Now, you being a senior, are you a December enrollee? Are you going to wait till February? Have you made that decision yet as far as your college destination, wherever it may be?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to attend college after the school year.
After the school year. All right, now let's get to the offensive Hayward in the studio here.
Yes, sir.
Israel Hayward, the tight end. Boy, you got some big size on you. I can see why you're a tight end.
Yes,
why the offensive side of the ball? Your brother and your dad, the defensive guys. Why'd you go offense?
I wanted to switch it up a little bit, and I do play some defense, but I liked offense. I like catching the ball, blocking. I just found my position, and I thought I liked it, so stuck with it.
What's it like with your dad on the staff, his former teammates on the staff? That must be a great experience for you.
It is. It's a lot of great coaching going around from all the coaches that we have on the staff, not just my dad, just all the coaches around. I would just say that I get a lot of knowledge that I wouldn't have gotten at many other schools, so that's what's going to shape the player I am.
Israel Hayward, Sam Hayward, back to Reggie Hayward, former Jaguar defensive end. Reggie, when did you know you wanted to get into coaching on the high school level?
You know what? I've been chasing my kids through Pop Warner and all the way up. And I thought that when they got to high school, I was going to fall back and hand them off. And then the opportunity came when Coach Williams was like, hey, I need a D-line coach, somebody on defense, if you're willing to keep coaching. I was like, sure. I literally live down the street from Providence, so it's on. My kids attend school there. So I was like, absolutely. The program isn't where we want it to be, but it is not where it used to be. Mm-hmm. And it's one, through these great players, we got these kids, they're buying in, they want to have success. We got great coaching. We're all working hard and a whole lot of prayer. And thanks to God, we've had some success. And hopefully this year will be one of the better years that Providence football has had.
And look, I mean, I obviously don't know this, but I'm just thinking out loud here. You got like 5 or 6 former NFL guys that were all on the same NFL roster during the same time period, now on the same high school coaching staff. That cannot exist many places in the country. I mean, this is a very unique situation at Providence.
I mean, I think it's extremely unique. I mean, I think that a lot of people, NFL players don't really get back into coaching. Or if they do, they go to college or they go to the NFL where they can make, a significant amount of money. We're not in that for that. We're not making any, like I am taking an extreme pay cut to do this. But I love my kids and I love having fun coaching them. It's very funny that you say that because like me and my wife have started a website called Generational Gridiron, and we're kind of telling the story of all these wonderful coaches that are coaching their kids. And, it kind of like in the recruiting world has changed so much that colleges don't really chase the kids, you chase the college. So now that you have to have a huddle and you have to have Max Prep and you got to have an Instagram. So I was like, let's build a website where all our kids that are thinking about playing on the next level, they can link everything up. It's an easy one click, and it's coming. It's not out yet. We're supposed to drop it out on Friday, but I like what's coming together. It looks professional. The kids look great, and it's just an interesting time.
It's interesting too, and I want to get back to Sam and Israel in a moment, but you piqued my interest. Brunell was the coach at Episcopal before he took the job with the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Baselli, obviously, was an assistant. All you guys at Providence. Aaron Beasley is back in town at Duval Charter. And there's a lot of former Jaguars that are giving back to the game that gave so much to them. I don't know if that says anything about the organization here or just the guys that all played for the same organization. Maybe it's a coincidence, but I can't imagine many NFL markets have that many former players that stay local to coach high school ball.
I mean, you got to give credit to Jacksonville. It's a great place to live. Like, the weather's amazing. The traffic isn't crazy. And the taxes is exactly where you want to be. You know what I mean? You want to be right in Florida. And then the organization, I mean, the Jacksonville Jaguars is one of the more younger organizations. And, when you stay here, the fans love you. You know what I mean? Like, they only have so many people that they can latch on to. It's not like we're not the Chicago Bears where we can all go back to, almost black and white games. No, they remember 95 to right now. So the fans embrace us, and I don't want to move anywhere. My kids get a great education, they have fun, and they're in a safe environment, and I love it here. So personally, I think, a lot of people feel like me, my ex-teammates, when we retire, we go off, but we always drift back to Jacksonville. It's a great place to live.
And I owe you out there today at the Miller Electric Center. Tom McManus, a good buddy of mine. Yeah. Leon Searcy, who's on our radio station, one of my good buddies here. Baselli, Lagaman, who work for the organization. There's just a ton of former Jaguars that stay in this community. I want to throw some Jaguar stuff at you, Reggie, in a moment. Back to your sons. We'll begin with Sam. All right, senior year. Your last go-around at Providence. Your hopes. What do you personally hope to accomplish with your season? And then team goals here in 2024.
Personally, I want to excel with stripping the ball first because I didn't really do that too much in my previous years. So I want to work on stripping the ball, fumble recovery, definitely sacks because that just looks good. But as a team, we got Noah Johnson, JoJo as well. Those are some new teammates, and they're definitely going to be helping out with DB and wide receiver. So it's going to take a lot of the stress off of me playing offense as the tight end in Israel. And I can focus on defense. And as a team, we will be able to come together and win games. Like UC might not be as close this year. Maybe we'll blow them out.
Oh, well, well, when Providence beat UC last year, that was one of the big games of the year. Quickly, Sam, you being a senior, you being a team leader, because of who your dad is, being on the staff as well, I'm sure, the younger guys on the team look for you to guide them. Do you welcome that leadership role your senior year there at Providence? Do you want that responsibility?
I do, because I understand what it takes, and I know I can lead them correctly. I know a lot of my teammates want to lead and have fun with it, but they do it kind of irresponsibly, and I don't want that happening.
Well, let's not confuse things either. I mean, you're one of the best defensive linemen in the area. I mean, there's a reason you have 6-7 Division I offers. I mean, you are a good football player, and with that comes a leadership-type responsibility. To your younger brother, Israel, you being a sophomore on this football team, obviously you're going to make your mark not only this year but in years to come. But personal goals for your sophomore campaign.
My personal goals this year, I want to improve on all my blocking and run blocking and pass blocking, and I want to be able to get touchdowns and help my team win a lot of games. And I just think that if I can do those two things at the bare minimum, then we'll do pretty good this season.
And as far as the identity for Providence on offense, what do you hope it is? I mean, is it run the ball, throwing the ball? I mean, what do you guys like to do to move the football down the field?
We do a lot of both, to be honest. We have a really good run game. We have a running back, Hayden Jones. We have a good O-line to help with that run game and help open up the holes for him. But then we also have a great passing game. Our quarterback, Mason Williams, he's got an arm, and we have some receivers, like he said, Josiah Payton and Noah Johnson, Jake Contner, Cameron Ross. I mean, we're a very pass-savvy team as well as run. So,
how tall are you?
I'm 6'3".
6 foot, and how old are you?
I'm 16.
6'3" and 16 years old.
Yes,
you know what that is? That's good genetics.
Is
what that is.
Right.
There's
His
no doubt
mom
about
is, almost 6'1", so she is ex-basketball player at UNF. Let me get a plug out to my wife, Megan Hayward, who's also a board of director at JTA. She's doing a great job for the city, and we all love her.
Well, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. No doubt about it. Guys, I'll talk to you in one moment. Let me get to your dad again. Let's throw some Jaguar stuff at you, Reggie, as we begin to wrap things up.
Okay.
All right, you being a former Jaguar, Stadium of the Future, passed by the city council. You've made your home here. You live here. You talk about how great Jacksonville is. What did it mean to you, being a former Jaguar, to see now that city get security and that Stadium of the Future is going to be built?
It's a blessing because, one, the fans deserve it. They deserve, you're starting to see these stadiums in Las Vegas and LA. And then, when you look at home, you're like, ooh, we can do a lot better than that. And now we're going to be in that conversation. And when you're in that conversation, you start hearing about hosting the Super Bowl again, because the stadium is going to be amazing. And it's going to, and hopefully, I hope the city does it right. They get someone in here that's going to make this thing look spectacular, because why spend the money if it's going to be, I don't want to curse, but if you're going to just go halfway,
right?
Don't spend the money. Don't waste people money. And if we're going to spend the money, let's do it right. Let's make it something beautiful. And then let's get a commitment from the Jaguars not to move the team or to stay another 20 years long after our kids retire from the NFL. So, let's keep this thing rolling.
There was a time here in Jacksonville between your time and really between the time that Trevor arrived here, where, quite frankly, the Jaguars were terrible.
Yes.
I mean, let's just be honest. They were not very good. And that has changed now with Trevor's arrival. I think Trent Baalke, I think I'm the president of the Trent Baalke fan club. I don't know why he gets the bad rap that he does. I think he's done a fantastic job. But one of the things he did, and I want you to talk about the locker room dynamic, the Trevor extension, the Tyson Campbell extension, the Foye Oluokun extension, and certainly Joshua Hines-Allen's extension. What does that mean to a locker room when your own guys are being taken care of by the organization?
I mean, for a long time, a lot of people in the NFL outside of our locker room would say Jacksonville is where people go for their careers to die. You know what I mean? And, that was a widely spreaded, rumor. Now you see an owner and you see an organization putting serious money behind their players. Now that opens up free agency. Okay, they have a new stadium. They're paying their players. They're having success. It's Florida. I don't want to play somewhere cold. I don't want to play somewhere, no knock on Seattle, but I don't want to play somewhere where it's going to be cloudy. I want to live in Florida. The tax breaks. We have to make this city and this team sexy to young kids that are, up for free agency.
40 career sacks for you in the NFL as a prized free agent from Denver to Jacksonville. I got to ask you, I mentioned Joshua Hines-Allen and his contract extension. You lump him in with Trayvon Walker.
Yeah.
Got to ask, what do you think of guys that play your position, the edge rushers here on this football team?
I think that I was rushing in the wrong decade.
With the money
that's
going
going around. No, I'm happy for them, man. Josh Allen used to live down the street from me. He moved because, of course, why not? You made a whole bunch of money. But I would tell him, hey, young man, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Don't let anything stress you out. Sacks, they come in bunches. Just go and get it. Do the work. And that's all that man has done is put his head down and do the work. And now he's reaping the benefits of that work. Now, if I could talk to him now, I'm going to say, don't let the money change you. Yes, we work hard. You want to secure that for your family, but you also want to leave this legacy and take care of your body. Keep doing what got you the money. As far as Trayvon, I'm not that close with him. I've seen him around, but I heard that he's a hardworking individual, and you cannot teach that. Like some people, I try to tell my young players, like, I can show you what to do. I can tell you what to be. I cannot teach you to play hard and to give your all. Trayvon is doing that. I just know that if Josh is going to get a lot of attention on that side, it's going to free him up to have some success. I mean, sometimes being on the other side, like if you think about Dwight and Dwight Freeney, and then you think about Robert Mack, they complemented each other so well because offenses had trouble choosing who to block. Because if you double team one, the other one gets free. We need to have that synergy here. If Josh is getting double teamed, I need Trayvon to get after it. If he's receiving a whole lot of double teams, I need Josh to get out of it. We need a dominant D-line, and that's how you have success.
Let's finish with Providence. Sam, back to you. Season kicks off, the Classic, I believe, on Friday for you guys, right? Regular season next Friday. Yeah. How excited are you to get the year underway?
Man, I've been waiting for training camp to end, honestly. We've been running up and down the field, left and right, all summer. So, finally getting to hit somebody else is going to feel great.
Israel, same question. How excited are you to get your sophomore year underway?
I'm very excited to see what I can do this year. I think I can help the team out a lot more this year. I've been developing over the past year and the training camp in the summer and just like hitting the gym and reps and all that stuff. So.
Yeah. You can see why he's
over there. Yeah.
Right. You can see why he's on offense. Like he has the bag. He has a swag about him. Very, very, cool. You got to be cool to play offense. So
what's the touchdown?
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. Very impressive guys you got here, Reggie.
Thank you so much.
Really enjoyed the conversation. Quickly, Providence.
Yes.
Kickoff Classic Friday, regular season opener next Friday. What's the schedule look like?
The schedule looks favorable. We're playing some teams that I'm not even familiar with because I'm not local to Florida, but it's some teams like Foss Proof or something like that. I'm going to sit down and scout them and see, if they have some dudes. I know that we have a really good team, and it's one of those things where if we can get this ball rolling early and we can get the momentum built and we can get the confidence just, through the roof, this team could be special. We just got to go out and do what we are coached to do and have success.
Again, Mo Williams, Reggie Hayward, Joe Zelenka, Greg Jones. Who else did you say?
Roy Miller and Chris Zimmerman.
Wow, 6 former Jacksonville Jaguars on that Providence staff. That is a great, great story. Sam, Israel, Reggie, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. We'll talk again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
All right, that's the Hayward family. We certainly appreciate it. Coming up next, Demetrius Harvey, Florida Times Union, Jacksonville.com. As we recap training camp to this point, talk a little Tampa Bay and Jacksonville as well. Halftime, Hacker After Dark, 1 hour down, 1 hour to go. We'll take you up till 10 o'clock tonight right here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM.
Now, Studio Talk with Dan and Jeff.
Stop crying like a little girl. I wasn't crying like a little girl.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
It's not like that. What are you talking? It's not like that. Really?
Mornings.
How? What do you mean how?
1010XL, 92.5 FM. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Hey, school's in session, and here's today's lesson. We have hundreds of new vehicles. Camrys starting at $329 a month. RAV4s for $349 a month. Tundras as low as $499 a month. And they all come with a 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. That means you and your soon-to-be drivers will be protected for the next 20 years. Plus, every purchase will help fund a teacher's project in our schools. Your next assignment, get to Beaver Toyota St. Augustine. Deadline August 31st. We're here to wow you and our teachers.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Facing a DUI charge or even a boating under the influence charge? Well, I'm your man, DUI lawyer Malcolm Anthony at 285-4LAW. 285-4LAW. Once again, 285-4LAW.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Did it rain a lot this morning?
No, it was nice and sunny.
Well, the backyard's kind of swampy.
Huh, yeah. Especially where the septic tank is.
Oh, no. When was the last time we had our septic tank pumped?
Don't neglect your septic. Just call Duck Duck Rooter, your local plumbing and septic experts. DuckDuckRooter.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
For a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 August 24th at Daytona, answer this question. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010.
Are you worried about your roof? Protect it with a lifetime shingle transferable warranty with Universal Roof and Contract. Save up to $1,250 on your roof replacement, plus flexible financing up to 15 years. This expires August 31st and restrictions apply. Call 855-ROOF-HELP or visit universalroof.com to schedule your free roof inspection. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
Universalroof.com.
Clearwater. John, I can't even mow my side yard. It's so soggy. Man, my builder sucks.
Brent, calm down. This is a common problem in neighborhoods where houses are built too close together. You need gutters and a properly installed French drain that will soak up subsurface water. We can completely dry it up.
So I can take my builder off my speed dial now, huh?
Yeah, we got you, buddy. Let that builder bitterness go.
Clearwater Irrigation
and Drainage too.
Hey folks, this is Dave Benyon with my son Ammon here from Zero Res. Ammon, you've been cleaning air ducts for a while now. What are some of the reasons customers might consider getting their air ducts cleaned?
There are many reasons. Many times, people suffer needlessly from poor indoor air quality produced by the conditions in their air system. Construction dust, the presence of bacterial growth, and years' worth of buildup all come together to make your air ducts a pretty gross place. If you suffer from allergies, have recently moved, recently remodeled, or have never had your air ducts cleaned, then now is the best time to call. By calling Zero Res, you'll have the peace of mind of knowing that you called the best of the best. Our state-of-the-art truck mount system and top-of-the-line service representatives simply can't be found anywhere else. Google Zero Res and read thousands of 5-star reviews.
So what kind of deals can I expect?
Just mention that you heard us on the radio, and we'll give you $100 off your air duct cleaning.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty great deal. Remember, folks, Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
Googa Nation, it's Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here to tell you this is no dream. The folks at Dreamfinders Homes right now have an unbeatable interest rate for you. You may not think you can afford a Dreamfinders home. Well, think again. Take advantage of a 2.99% year one rate. I said it, 2.99%. 15 Jacksonville communities to choose from. Find that dream house and take advantage of an unbeatable rate. Move now, literally. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Before termites attack your home or business and cause costly damage, Terminix it. At Terminix, we know how to stop termites. These destructive pests have been around for millions of years, But before they show up, so do we, and their time is up. Don't live with a termite problem? Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. 3 weeks into Jaguar training camp. One preseason game in the books. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers roll in for joint sessions on Wednesday and Thursday and a game Saturday night between the Bucs and the Jaguars at Everbank Stadium. Let's review everything that's transpired over the last 3 weeks with Demetrius Harvey. He does a great job covering the Jags for the Florida Times-Union and Jacksonville.com. And Demetrius is always kind enough to join us here on 1010XL. Demetrius, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Demetrius, we're good. Thank you for the time. And you and I haven't spoke on air since training camp started, so there's a lot that's gone on in the last 3 weeks. Before we really break it down, just a mile-high view, your thoughts, the last 3 weeks, the Miller Electric Center, what the Jaguars have accomplished to this point.
Yeah, I feel like they're really just now starting. I mean, once you get into the sort of the preseason games and they just put pads on just maybe a couple weeks ago. You know that I feel like once you get into the thick of it, that's when you kind of start to see things emerge. I put it out there on Twitter today, but Brian Thomas Jr. Back-to-back days, in my opinion, of having really good sessions where he seems to be able to look the ball in, catch it cleanly, turn upfield. It just feels like his routes are just getting sharper. And then if you just look at the offense and everything like as a whole, it's vastly improved. I mean, the first 5 days of camp, I mean, after everybody was talking about it, Trevor Lawrence is throwing interceptions. The offense looks terrible. They can't do anything. Oh no, is it over already? And those reactions are common, and it's expected when a team struggles. But as we've gone on, we've seen the improvements. I mean, especially in the passing game, we've seen Trevor sort of make the throws that you would expect. We've seen the playmakers down the field. We've seen Gabe Davis now, especially over the middle. I feel like he's a guy that's going to be a big body target, kind of like Evan Ingram, and so to me, at least on the offensive side of the ball, we're starting to get a lot more answers. It seems to be a lot clearer than it was coming into camp. To me, it's clear that, Cam Robinson, again, is going to be starting at left tackle, and I think that that's going to remain the same. And I think that, as they continue to get healthy, we've started to sort of see, a more cohesive unit on the offensive line. Now Ezra Cleveland's back, Anton Harrison's back, all that good stuff. And then defensively, just real quick, Ryan Nielsen has really got these guys playing fast. And I think you could see that sort of in the first preseason game anyway. But you really see that during all the practices. They're playing very quick. There's not a lot of extra talking. There doesn't seem to be a lot of confusion. And so, that's something that I feel like is just going to keep getting better. And sort of where they're at right now is a really good start.
Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union. Demetrius, you've been to every training camp practice that Doug Peterson has had now in year 3 of his training camps. Most physical camp under Peterson to this point, in your opinion?
Yeah, you know what? The 2022 camp was pretty physical. I remember a huge hit by Andre Cisco on the first day of pads. We didn't even know they were live, and he just lit up Travis Etienne. So that was a pretty physical camp. This one does feel physical. It felt like even before they started putting pads on, it felt like they started to sort of get after it. Maybe there was a little bit more contact than what you would think in the early portions of training camp. But more or less, I do feel like it's a pretty physical camp, and that's exactly what Doug wants. He wants it to be, obviously guys stay healthy, but he wants it to be physical because these times are precious. You don't get very many opportunities to have pads on during the season.
One of the things that I've noticed, and they alluded to it, Doug Peterson did, Press Taylor did as well, maybe Balky did, come to think of it, is last year when the injuries started compiling, they had to kind of mismatch, different lineups and different rotations, and obviously it didn't go well. Now out at practice, we're seeing first-teamers with second-teamers, second-teamers with third-teamers. There's a constant influx of new guys working together. Even if guys aren't injured, they're just subbing out, subbing in to get different personnel in there. Demetrius, am I just imagining that, or is that a direct correlation to some of the problems at the end of last season?
No, it is a correlation, because when guys were going down last year, you could kind of see, the next man up wasn't necessarily ready. I mean, it just was plain and simple. Antonio Johnson, for example, last year, I know he had the injury, but, when he gets thrust into there, after some injuries happen to Cisco, he's not necessarily ready right away. And so this is something that they've been working on since, if you remember, Trent Baalke did talk about this, in January, the onboarding process for the Jaguars. He felt like it needed to be cleaned up. He felt like that was a situation that needed to be addressed, and he kept repeating that same thing. And Doug talked about it. I actually asked him about it at the NFL Combine, and he said the same thing. They have to get their first, second year younger players some reps, and they have to get their onboarding better than it was before. And so I think that's sort of what you're seeing now. You're seeing all these guys, the second team, third team guys playing alongside the starters, playing against the starters, and that's on purpose. That's something to where they're trying to be able to have the best, 53-man roster they can, to where, hey, if Trayvon Walker goes down, Travis Gibson will be able to just fill right in. Not necessarily going to be able to play the same exact level, but at least he's going to be familiar enough. He's going to be experienced enough. He's going to be ready to sort of head in there. I think that's sort of what they're doing. And I personally think it's a great thing to sort of change.
You alluded to it earlier, but just your general thoughts 3 weeks in on Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I think that, I wrote about it right before training camp. I think it came out right after. But, I think that Trevor is going to be a fantastic quarterback in this league. I think he already is. I think he's going to prove, why he's worth $275 million. Probably prove to be worth more. And I think that in the end, the Jaguars are going to be looked at as a team that sort of, in a way, got a steal just based off the cash flow. And I think that 5 weeks in, or however many weeks into the training camp that we are right now, I do feel like, he's proven to sort of be that level-headed, calm, composed quarterback that you expect. When he goes in there, he looks like the best quarterback on the team. That's what you want. That's what you need. And I think that from what everybody has been saying, Doug Peterson, all the players, everybody else, what they've been saying about him being, more command of the offense, just sort of mastering all of that, getting a better understanding, being able to tell press, hey, I don't like this play, just little things like that. I think that's huge. And to me, I think that Trevor's in for a big year.
Couple of more for Demetrius Harvey for the Florida Times Union and Jacksonville.com. You talked about Ryan Nielsen earlier, Demetrius. Maybe it's the Ryan Nielsen effect. I don't know what else I would call it. Every time the defense makes a play, man, they let the offense know about it. There's a lot of talking out there, a lot of excitement out there. I don't really remember that necessarily with Mike Caldwell. Certainly Ryan Nielsen, Richard, the secondary coach, they've really brought that attitude to the defense.
Yeah, there's a new energy out there. I think, you saw it a little bit with the past staff in terms of guys like Buckner or some of the other guys, but you're right. In terms of the defensive coordinator being that vocal, being that hands-on, there's not even a similarity between Ryan Nielsen and Mike Caldwell. Ryan is out there working with the defensive line every day. I remember I took a couple videos. Everybody else has showed videos of Ryan sort of doing one-on-one teaching with guys like Josh Allen, Trayvon Walker. Just being able to be up close and personal, I feel like it's a lot different. I feel like having a hands-on coach like that really changes things for the team too. And so right now, I do think that that's sort of a good direction that they're headed in, and I think that it's going to pay dividends down the line.
One of the things that's really stood out is the depth of this football team. They're deep, man. It's the deepest team I think Balky's had in the 4 years he's been the GM. And Demetrius, that's going to mean some tough cuts coming up in about 2 weeks' time. The tail end of this roster, particularly wide receiver, O-line, D-line, maybe secondary, some guys are going to get cut that have played regular season games here in Jacksonville. It's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out because of the depth of the team.
Absolutely it is. You have guys like Tyler Shatley, who's been on the team for the past, I think, 11 years is now he's in, and he might not make it. And that's not necessarily because of the play that he's shown, but a lot of that is due to just the depth, as you were saying, that they have now. You know, they have Cooper Hodges back. They have different guys that can go in there. They love Stephen Jones. And so, you know, that's sort of the situation that you want a team to be in their third year under a new regime. You know, you want them to be in a place where all of a sudden the day after cuts, you're like, oh, wow, what's his name got picked up by the Panthers. You know, that's sort of the type of team that you want to have. It's a credit to Trent Baalke, and it's sort of, you know, a realization of where this team is headed and why they're going in a good direction.
Final moments, Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union. Demetrius, give me a guy, offense or defense, maybe that wasn't on your radar necessarily before camp, that is on your radar now.
I'll go with Jalen Jackson, the running back. I mean, he's a rookie. It's kind of hard to say he was on my radar. He wasn't on anybody's radar, but I do feel like it seems like every time he's in there, he's able to make a play. He's a big bowling ball kind of guy. I just feel like he has a pretty good shot. And the thing is, you know, do they keep 3 running backs? Do they keep 4 running backs? Do they think that Dearness Johnson is the best, or what they do there will probably dictate if he makes the team? I think that's a guy to keep an eye on. Defensively, I guess Big E. I don't know if I want to try to pronounce his name, Asezi or Asezi.
I just call him 90. I say 90's out there making plays.
90's out there making plays, and you know he's done a great job, I think. And I hadn't heard about him or heard of him before he signed here, and so you know I think that he's another player that could surprise a few people by not only him making the team, but potentially you know how many snaps he gets in the regular season. So those 2 players I think are pretty interesting.
Roy Robertson-Harris played into the late third quarter stages on Saturday night against Kansas City. Do we read anything into that?
Maybe a little bit. I will say that after practice today, Roy was kind of seen limping, kind of headed off the field. I'm not exactly sure what the issue is there, but having him play, you know, that deep into a preseason game as a 10th year vet, I believe he is, that is sort of in my opinion, it's like a message. It's like sending a message, you know, hey, we want to see how much or how well you can do in this circumstance. And I do think that they're trying to get the most out of him. Given his contract situation, I'm not sure what that could turn into, but yeah, it's something to keep an eye on. How much will he actually play?
Demetrius, as we wrap up, joint practices with the Buccaneers Wednesday and Thursday, the game Saturday night, Everbank Stadium. Obviously, a lot of good work is going to happen over the coming days. What are your expectations over the next 3 or 4 days when Tampa rolls in?
Yeah, this is really the first true test. I know that they just played a preseason game, but they only played, you know, however many snaps in that game. There wasn't enough information for you to really get. Now they're going to be practicing, you know, plenty of reps. We're going to see plenty of 1s versus 1s, 2s versus 2s, whatever the case may be. We're going to be able to see it against another team. We're going to be able to see Tyson Campbell go up against Mike Evans, who kind of torched him last year. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. I expect them to play better than they did against the Bucs last year. But, you know, I do think it's going to be a competitive practice, and it's really going to show exactly sort of where this team is, at least right now.
Demetrius, you, Justin, Fournette, Smitter, all you guys are doing a great job covering it for the Times-Union. Tell the good folks here in Jacksonville what you guys have coming up in the coming days leading into the Buccaneers game.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'll have a 53-man roster coming up. If it's not out today, it will be out tomorrow morning. You know, and obviously throughout camp, Gary's done a great job of sort of breaking it down and giving you guys the play-by-play observations. He's going to continue that, and you know, I'll be there to sort of tell you what happened that day and then all the rest of the stuff. So, yeah, we have a bunch of stuff coming out, and I appreciate you guys' support.
Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union. Demetrius, I know you're busy. Thank you for the time. I'll see you down there at camp.
All right, see you down there.
Turn on the radio.
In your car, 92.5 FM and 1010 AM.
Would you like to drive for a while?
In your house, at the beach, on your phone, at the gym, on vacation, out of town.
Well, everyone knows that.
Download our free 1010XL app for all smart devices.
Hacker here with a new opportunity for you. The 20-pound summer slim down with Awaken 180 weight loss. Dropping 20 pounds before summer ends, cruising to your goal of 30, 40, 50-plus pounds down. It's simple. You take the last few weeks of summer, eating, drinking, enjoying the weather, but the difference? You're doing it with the 20-pound summer slim down. But you say, Hack, summer's almost over. Well, that's the point. The pounds melt off fast with Awaken 180. I dropped my first 20 in less time, and that easy 20 propelled me to reach my goal of losing over 85 pounds. Think about it. You're about to slide back into the same old fall routine with the same old mindset. Mix it up. Live up the rest of your summer while dropping the first 20. Then jump into fall with a whole new groove. Yeah, I said it, and you'll be saying it too in just a few weeks. 20-pound summer slim down with the solution for weight loss. Online, awaken180weightloss.com.
Prosser here. Hey, pick a news source. But the reports are home prices are expected to decline in 2025, even after the election. So you need to maximize your home sales price now before this downturn, and you can do it with the agents proven to sell for top dollar, Chad and Sandy Newman. Hey, perhaps you're worried about selling for less money with a lowball out-of-state instant offer, or maybe you want maximum equity from your home, but you're not sure how. That's why you turn to Chad and Sandy, who have the answers. No required costly repairs. Chad and Sandy are the local real estate experts I trust and recommend for the sale of your home. Tony and Maggie at Jack's Golf and Country Club said, job transfer, and we needed to sell fast. With homes in our area struggling to sell inside 100 days, we didn't know what to do. Our worries were solved when we hired Chad and Sandy. Our home sold in 3 days for one of the highest prices ever in our neighborhood at over $1 million. Call the local experts we trust, 904-414-6200 or ChadAndDSandy.com.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you be active, reach weight loss goals, and find your inner strength while you connect with your community. Family memberships at the Y include unlimited group exercise classes, childcare while you work out, and youth sports participation. It's easy to join the Y and affordable for all. Plus, the Y is a great place to meet a new circle of friends. Visit the Y near you or online at fcymca.org.
Jags Hall of Famer Tony Baselli puts on his gold jacket every Monday morning at 7:20 on The Drill.
Does look good.
It's Hall of Fame Monday with Tony Baselli.
Good? It's great.
Brought to you by Heritage Roofing of North Florida on 1010XL.
Hey there, all you fun-loving sports maniacs, a.k.a. taco lovers. Don here from Taco Lou. I'm quite proud to say that we have the best staff in all of Duval.
Don't you mean Louval?
Say hello to Lizzie.
Hello, Jacksonville.
I suppose I do mean Louval. Say, Liz, what's your favorite cocktail to make?
The Double Barrel Margarita. It's Herradura, Tequila Reposado, orange liqueur, orange juice, and our homemade sour mix. We call it Lou Brew. Give it a good shake and serve.
Well, thanks, Lizzie.
Come in and hang with me at the bar. Taco Lou in Jacksonville Beach.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Raid wants to know, what would you do if you could confidently face every day knowing you and your loved ones are protected? Would you sing along to your favorite song at the top of your lungs? Turn off the GPS and let your heart do the guiding. Go to the drive-thru and order one of everything. Feel the buzz of confidence of knowing you are protected with 65 years of insect science in your hands. Raid. Protection for everyone. Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to bring your friends out and enjoy our spectacular golf course, which is carved out of some of the highest elevations in North Florida. Hidden Hills Golf Club, unlike any other. Check us out, hiddenhillsgc.com.
I'm Stacy, and I want to tell you about my fogged up window fiasco at my house. I called up Mac at Baker Glass, and he told me all I needed was a glass replacement. The process was so easy. All within a few days, they came out, measured, called me with an estimate, cut my glass, and came out to install the new ones. Now my view outside is fog-free thanks to Mac and his crew at Baker Glass. And my neighbors think I got some fancy new windows.
I'm Mac with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
What's changed totally inside and out? The Kuhn Flowers massive storefront, and yes, they've totally remodeled the showroom inside too. This is Frank Frangie, and the next time you drive by, stop and smell the roses at Kuhn Flowers.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. He's Hacker After Dark on 1010XL.
Buccaneers, Jaguars, one more joint practice tomorrow. Miller Electric Center tomorrow morning. We'll be down there. I'm scheduled to go one-on-one with Jaguar corner Christian Braswell following practice. Also, you look at the Jacksonville Jaguars, they play Tampa Bay in an actual football game on Saturday. Now, I think most of the work for the starters was done today and will be done tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure how many of those starters will see playing time on Saturday, but there are certainly going to be a lot of guys playing on Saturday that have an opportunity to make this 53-man Jaguar roster. We'll get the Tampa Bay side of these festivities coming up in just a bit. Our guy when it comes to the Buccaneers is Zach Blobner, WDAE Radio down in Tampa. And we'll talk Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, and the Buccaneers coming up with Zach Blobner in less than 15 minutes. A lot of news around the National Football League on this Wednesday, August the 14th. We'll begin with a trade that went down a couple of hours ago. Matthew Judon, we talked about this earlier in the week. Matthew Judon, the All-Pro Bowl pass rusher for the New England Patriots, was unhappy about his contract. Well, Gerard Mayo's not messing around in New England, as they have decided in the last couple of hours to trade Matthew Judon to the Atlanta Falcons. In return, a third-round draft pick. Denmark, I got to be honest, I'm surprised Judon got moved. I'm kind of happy he got moved because now he's not on the Jaguars' schedule. But are you surprised only a third-round pick is what was needed to get Matthew Judon to Atlanta?
Yeah, I saw my Twitter, somebody that covers Atlanta up there, covers the Falcons. They said they got fleeced. Talking about the Patriots.
I'm sure they were. I mean, I think it was a matter of they just probably wanted Judon out at this point, only settle for a third-round pick. Now, Atlanta, from their side of things, they needed a pass rusher. They've been looking for a pass rusher for a long, long time. In fact, if you'll remember all the grief Atlanta got during the draft for not taking an edge pass rusher and taking Michael Penix instead. Well, that's no longer an issue now because Matthew Judon is in the works. But look, listen to this. Now, he only had 4 sacks last year. He had 15.5 in 2022, 12.5 in 2021. He had a 9.5 sack year, 2019 in Baltimore. Guy's got 66.5 career quarterback sacks. And he has moved out of New England and is on his way to Atlanta. That probably is the biggest piece of NFL news today involving a guy that will play in the 2024 season. The biggest piece of news in the NFL today now involving a guy that will not play in the 2024 season is J.J. McCarthy. The first-round quarterback from Michigan won a national championship last year, drafted by the Minnesota Vikings. We knew he got hurt, had some knee soreness over the weekend. The thought was it was a meniscus, but maybe it was only going to be a cleanup. He might miss 6 to 8 weeks. Nope. Worst case scenario. Torn meniscus, out for the year. I mean, Denmark, that's devastating, right, for Minnesota? I know Sam Darnold's going to start for them, but the idea was to work McCarthy in by middle of the year. To lose a top 10 quarterback in the preseason to a knee injury, I mean, you want to talk about just a shot below the belt. What do you think they're thinking in Minneapolis right now?
Yeah, it's not good, but I mean, I think wasn't the thought that Sam Darnold starts and, progressively you put in McCarthy. So, it's not good, but, it wasn't like the Vikings were all in and win a Super Bowl. So, you take this as a full rebuilding year and, hopefully you get a decent draft pick if the Vikings aren't good and you just go from there.
I hate to be that guy. The Jaguars do own the Vikings' 3rd and 4th round selections in the 25 draft, thanks to that draft day trade where the Jaguars traded back and still got Brian Thomas. Jaguars-Buccaneers, joint practice number 2 tomorrow, Miller Electric Center. They'll play a game on Saturday night at Everbank Stadium. Let's talk Tampa Bay's perspective on this week's festivities. Our guy in Tampa, Zach Blobner, WDAE Radio. He joins us next. Hacker After Dark on a Wednesday night in Jacksonville, Florida. And we're glad you are with us.
1010XL.
It's only about winning.
Oh, look at this. Goes deep. How about that? Touchdown. Here's Tebow. How about that? Touchdown, Florida. The legend is expanding.
Where we win together.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Mia here. Are you ready for the ultimate college football season? Using MyBookie Sportsbook and casino platform, you can bet on every game and win anytime, anywhere, straight from your mobile device, no app needed. Just sign up at MyBookie.com and you're ready to rock. Whether you're rooting for your alma mater or your favorite team, there's no better way to experience the season than having action on the games. When you know your team well, it's an easy way to take advantage of props like team win totals or early picks for playoff contention. Last year, MyBookie had some of the best odds on the market for the Wolverines to win the national championship, and Michigan bettors who backed their squad saw a 10 times return on their wager. These types of bets highlight why it's worth it to lay an investment before the season begins. Lock your futures in now while you're waiting for the season to begin and use promo code 1010XL to claim a bonus up to $1,000 on that first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to start the season with house money. Don't ever miss out on the action. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
Oh, no. No.
You okay in there?
Toilet's backed up. It won't flush.
Okay, I'll call the pros.
The tank isn't filling. The handle does nothing. Run for your life.
Don't be so dramatic. Duck Rooter will fix it.
For any plumbing issue, call Duck Rooter, your local plumbing professionals, and proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. DuckDuckRooter.com.
When you're stuck, call the Duck.
904-862-6769. Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man to fish. And he's listening to the Nimnicht Outdoor Show.
With tips and stories.
Presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning.
Every Saturday morning, 7 to 10.
On 1010XL.
Your Jaguars are back for another preseason matchup as we take on our neighbors to the west, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meet us at the bank Saturday, August 17th for a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. This is your last chance to see the Jags before the regular season kicks off. So lock in your tickets today by calling 904-633-2000 or online at jaguars.com/tickets.
For a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 August 24th at Daytona, answer this question. Who won last year's Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010.
It's the end of summer sale with Renewal by Andersen, energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Save $300 on every window and $825 on all patio doors. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. But restrictions apply, and this offer expires August 31st. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
Pick it here for Bound 9 Associates, where you'll find Jacksonville's most esteemed eye doctors at each of their locations. After being selected for one of the most competitive ophthalmology fellowships in the world, Dr. Frank Bowden is frequently called upon for his expert opinion. He is currently one of the few cornea and external disease specialists in the area and the founder of Bound 9. Visit Bound 9 Associates today and experience the difference. Bound 9 Associates, keeping the First Coast focused.
David Lane here again for Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. After several surgeries for age-old issues, mainly my back and shoulders, there's no doubt that Southeast Orthopedic Specialists is my sustaining resource for living pain-free. Take it from me, and I'm being really honest here, there's no better orthopedic facility here in Jacksonville.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
The latest in innovative imaging technology is at Ackerman Cancer Center. With total body MRI, PET, and CT scans, plus 3D mammography, offers unparalleled precision in cancer detection. Schedule your screening now at AckermanCancerCenter.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line. Hello. We can wiggle it.
Back here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM in the city of Jacksonville. We are glad you are with us. The Jaguars and the Buccaneers on Saturday, Everbank Stadium. Of course, you'll hear the game right here on 1010XL. Preseason game number 2 for both teams. Some joint practices are going on out at the Miller Electric Center. They had one earlier today. They'll be back out there tomorrow. And then, of course, the game on Saturday. With that being said, let's talk about these Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Our guy in Tampa is Zach Blobner of WDAE Radio in Tampa. He's always kind enough to join us here up on 1010XL in Jacksonville. Zach, how you doing, man?
Well, doing good, man. Another step closer to games that matter with joint practices that matter.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And there was some good work going on today, good work going on tomorrow. Zach, we talked about a month ago when we did our division preview prior to training camp. Let's just talk about the last 3 weeks since camp started. Biggest storyline or two for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the last 3 weeks?
Well, I'd say Tristan Wirfs is a little richer than our last chat. The big offensive lineman there. The highest paid offensive lineman now in NFL history, the highest paid Buccaneer in franchise history. He just gets a massive deal, a massive contract, one that we knew was coming, but the ink is dry now. It's official, and he's going to be around for quite a while. An all-pro caliber player, switched from one side of the line to the other last year and continued to play at a really high level, protecting Baker Mayfield. Previously, it was Tom Brady at the helm after Tristan was brought in. So that was a big one. I don't know how much we're going to be watching that moving forward, but definitely him getting that new deal and just kind of being one of the faces of the franchise, despite being an offensive lineman, right? A position and a position group that doesn't necessarily get the same kind of love as, say, a quarterback does. But for me, I would say that that's one that's still kind of taking a lot of the headlines here in Tampa Bay, keeping an eye on him and the offensive line in general with rookie Graham Barton, the center out of Duke. He's in a quote-unquote competition with Robert Hainsey, who was the guy at the position the last 2 years. So we're watching him. We're kind of seeing how that progresses, if there's any snap issues from the center to the quarterback, and which one of those guys it's on will kind of help dictate who starts week one. But we're hoping and projecting here in Tampa that it is the rookie out of Duke, Graham Barton. So, offensive line is kind of taking a lot of our attention right now. And then on the other side, it's the other side, which is the defensive line. That's the second biggest storyline probably is, can the Bucs find a way to create pressure with only sending 4, with not needing to blitz? We know Todd Bowles can dial up some creative schemes and different players he can send out there to get to the opposing quarterbacks, but can he do it with 4 guys? And we love the dudes in the middle, Kalijah Cansey, Vita Vea. We know that when healthy, Yaya Diaby can be a difference maker as an edge rusher. He's been a little banged up, though, so we're not sure when he'll be healthy, when he'll play again. I think they're aiming for week 1 of the regular season against Washington. Well, okay, without Yaya and knowing what you got in the middle, can Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, who's also banged up, the rookie Chris Broswell out of Alabama, Anthony Nelson. I mean, they just don't necessarily have the kind of names you would think of guys that are going to be able to create pressure without getting some help, without getting some extra blitzes in there to create pressure on opposing quarterbacks. So really a lot of the focus in the trenches for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Zach Blobner, WDAE Radio in Tampa. Bucs Jags Saturday night at Everbank Stadium. Baker Mayfield got paid this offseason. Zach, how has he looked through the first 3 weeks?
He's looked great. He definitely seems to have the same swagger as always, but there's like a little bit of a calm confidence too that we're seeing in pockets. And it felt like last year this time he was finding moments to try to create chemistry with teammates. This year it seems like he already has that chemistry, so he does seem more relaxed in a way. But I mean, look, Baker's always going to have the same personality too in terms of the swagger and the confidence and just the way he goes about his business. It's his team, and he's acting like it, both with the way he's handling, running the offense under new offensive coordinator Liam Cohen, a guy that he knew prior to them both getting here to Tampa Bay, but also, again, off the field. Like he's keeping it lighthearted. He's being jokey with the guys. He's getting along with them well. And even when we see him trash talking defenders, I mean, it's not something it's not aggressive. He's not trying to hurt their feelings. It's a football dude being a football dude, that Baker Mayfield.
Zach, I was going to ask you about Mike Evans anyway, but as a guy that, I don't know, maybe used a high fantasy draft pick on Mike Evans recently, now I'm really going to ask you about the veteran wide receiver. He also got paid this offseason. I mean, 1,000 yards every year he's been in the league. You and I talked a month ago or so. He's going to be in Canton, Ohio one day in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I mean, do we expect the same old from Mike Evans, even though he's getting up there in age a little bit?
Yeah, I think the 1K part of it, I mean, he was tied with, I believe, CeeDee Lamb last year in terms of reception touchdowns. That might be a lot to ask, my friend. But look, he is Baker's favorite target, and he is a hell of not even just a red zone threat, but a home run threat, right? They could be at the 50, and he could still score. So they don't necessarily need to be knocking on the door to go to Mike. But with his size and his ability, I don't see that kind of slowing down this year. Again, I think he's going to put up numbers. I think Baker's going to look for him first. And he's going to look for him often throughout a lot of these games. But the Bucs are really hell-bent on trying to get Chris Godwin back more into the mix, using, the younger receivers. McMillan drafted this year out of Washington. Trey Palmer last year did some nice things out of Nebraska. And then you really, in Tampa Bay, are going to start to see the running game, I think, kind of get some more love. They tried last year. They just didn't have success with it. But I think with, again, the new offensive coordinator, the rushing attack should be better. So that should, in theory, affect, Mike and his ability to maybe get some of the looks that he did last season when the rushing game was non-existent. So I expect Mike to do what Mike does. He's going to put up 1,000 yards. He's going to have a lot of touchdowns. I don't know if he'll have as many scores, though. That'd be kind of the area I'd keep an eye on, again, with more of the offense balancing out with Mike this year.
You look at this game and these joint practices, it's an interesting contrast. You got Doug Peterson, the offensive guy here in Jacksonville, Todd Bowles, the defensive guy in Tampa. Let's talk about that defense. You mentioned the defensive line. Vita Vea is just a mammoth of a human being. They got to replace some guys that left. Now, some left, and I don't think Tampa Bay is going to lose any sleep over it, like a Devin White. But Shaq Barrett's also gone, a couple of staples in that defense from the last couple of years. How has the defense as a whole looked to this point?
Yeah, I mean, as a whole, I would say it looks pretty good. I mean, again, it helps when you have an Antoine Field Jr., like another all-pro there, like another guy that got paid, kind of being able to move around a lot. You pair him with a guy in Jordan Whitehead wwho used to be here, went to the Jets for a little and came back. Love the depth at safety. The inside linebackers, you got Levante David, future at least Ring of Honor guy here in Tampa Bay. We'll see what happens in Canton. And then KJ Britt, who outplayed Devin White and takes his spot. You got to feel good about that as well. And some youngsters that are really kind of coming along through practices the last few weeks. Undrafted rookie out of Florida State, Kalen DeLoach. You still got Servassier Dennis, who was a third-rounder last year, if he can get healthy. And then J.J. Russell looked really good in the first preseason game. So there's lots of love there. I mean, I kind of already broke down the defensive side of it on the line in terms of some concerns with the pass rush. The cornerbacks, Carlton Davis, another guy, you mentioned Shaq Barrett not being here anymore. Well, starting corner, I would say their cornerback won the last few years. Carlton Davis was traded to Detroit. Zion McCollum steps in. I would say that their depth there is kind of a mystery in terms of having a lot of faith in who's behind the starters. And Jamel Dean, who's still here at the cornerback position, he gets hurt a lot too, or has at least so far in his career. So his durability is in question. So cornerback's an area that's okay right now, but like one of these guys go down or Zion McCollum doesn't take the steps we're hoping he will this year. And that could be a position that really hurts them in 2024, again, projecting through the depth.
Final moment, Zach Blobner, WDAE Radio in Tampa. He's our guy when it comes to the Buccaneers, the Bucs, and the Jags Saturday night at Everbank Stadium. You'll hear the game right here on 1010XL Radio. Zach, give Jaguar fans listening that might be going out to the joint practice tomorrow, or maybe they'll be in the stadium on Saturday, maybe an under-the-radar guy on offense and an under-the-radar guy on defense. Not a common name, but a guy that might be opening some eyes down there.
Yeah, I would say on offense, Bucky Irving, third-round pick out of Oregon, running back, he looked so good in the first preseason game up in Cincinnati for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you got to think, regardless of how much the starters are or aren't playing, he's going to get more opportunities as a rookie in this preseason action against the Jags. So he pinballed. He was tough to bring down. He's not the biggest running back, not the biggest player, but since he had their hands full with him, he was able to get into the end zone on a play. And then right behind him, Sean Tucker, another running back. Like those two guys, I call them Tuck and Buck. Those are the ones on offense for the Bucs that are going to probably give the Jags or try to give the Jags a hard time, I would say, more than anybody else. On defense, keep an eye on J.J. Russell. I just brought him up. He's going to get a ton of playing time, too. He's a depth inside linebacker, going to play some special teams. But he's got a nose for the football. He's everywhere that the football is, and he just seems like a guy that's always at least in on a tackle, if not making the tackle when he's out there. So he's going to probably get a lot of plug and play, too, regardless of the starters. So I would keep an eye on those guys. And then, again, for your Knowles fans, Kalen DeLoach on defense. And on offense, Kyle Trask is going to get another good amount of snaps, I'd assume.
What do the Bucs want to accomplish up here? I mean, the joint practice, and I want to get to that overall thing because I think that could be a nice little deal that Tampa Bay and Jacksonville could put together in the future. I don't know if they've ever had joint practices with one another. They're going to be up here. They started today. They're obviously here tomorrow, and then the game on Saturday. What's the goal for Todd Bowles and the Buccaneers over the next couple of days here in Duval County?
Yeah, I truly do think, and we were listening to Todd earlier this week here in Tampa before they left for Jacksonville. He's not sure how much he wants to play starters in preseason or if he'll play them really. And he was talking about maybe the third game. I have this assumption that if they get enough work, the starters that is for the Buccaneers against the Jags this week up in Jacksonville, and then that bleeds into next week and he feels like they get enough work against the Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins are in town in Tampa for the last preseason game. I could see Todd Bowles not playing Baker in any of the preseason action, or Mike Evans, or some of the bigger names, the bigger starters, if he feels like there's enough work, good work done in the joint practices. So, I think for Coach Bowles, he's really looking at this the scrimmaging and joint practices against the Jaguars this week. To go so well that he doesn't have to play these guys necessarily in the preseason game. So I think more than anything, that's probably what he's looking for. And I'm trying to think of any camp battles. I don't know how many of those are really that tight right now, to be honest. Graham Barton, again, just to kind of get his snaps down to where he's not putting it over the quarterback's head or on the ground. So the snaps from the center, and again, just overall enough work that maybe Coach Bowles doesn't really have to play Baker at all this preseason.
It makes way too much sense for Jacksonville and Tampa to do this. To my knowledge, and I have to go back in the memory banks, I'm not sure if they've ever had a joint practice against each other, but the cities are 3.5 hours apart. I mean, they're right next to each other for NFL standards. The Bucs come up here. I would hope the Jaguars return the favor in the future. It just seems very natural that Jacksonville and Tampa should do this more often in the preseason.
I'm with you. And I mean, look, we all know that they're trying to get rid of even more preseason games and move to more of just training camp. And, my assumption is that if that happens, even if we're just getting rid of preseason games, that the three teams in the state might as well keep working together. Like, we're fortunate enough here in Florida to have the Jags, the Bucs, and the Fins. Between the three of us, we should be able to get as much work, if not more, than anybody else, even if preseason continues to kind of dissolve. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think it makes a lot of sense. And right now, you got three teams very competitive. I don't know if it'll be like that, 5 years, 10 years from now, whatever. But in 2024, really three strong teams in the Sunshine State. So I'm glad that both the Bucs and the Jags get to work and get to joint practices this week. And, I hope it's something that in the future, even if preseason kind of goes away, that we continue to do here in Florida.
Hey, Zach, final question. Stamkos leaves the Lightning. The Rays have had a fire sale as of late, just trading off everybody before the deadline. I mean, not that that's the Buccaneers' problem necessarily, but if you're a Tampa sports fan, man, you kind of hope the Bucs do something for you. It's been a rough year for that regard.
Yeah, not great. You lose Randy Arozarena and Steven Stamkos in the same summer. Thank God the Bucs GM Jason Light found a way to keep Mike Evans around, because we had a good feeling that he might be on his way out in free agency. So the Bucs are really the only team that hasn't broke any fans' hearts in the last 6 months. Obviously football is always going to be king on top of that. So the Bucs, at least in terms of the fans watching here in Tampa Bay, when you take all the sports into consideration, if they can start hot, if they can get some wins under their belt early, I don't even know how much attention you're going to kind of see spread out amongst the hockey and baseball and everything else in between. We might just be full throttle Bucs this season, again, if they can start out hot.
Zach Blobner, WDAE Radio in Tampa. He's our guy when it comes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Zach, appreciate the time. Know you're busy. Thank you. Let's enjoy the game Saturday night.
Sounds good, brother. Take care.
Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
And thank you to my buddy Zach Blobner, WDAE Radio in Tampa. He's our guy when it comes to the Buccaneers, for joining us tonight here on Hacker After Dark. Is one joint practice down for Tampa Bay and Jacksonville. They will have another joint practice tomorrow morning out at the Miller Electric Center, and then the game Saturday night, preseason game number 2 between the Buccaneers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Look, we talked a lot about today's practice. A couple of observations really was the story of the show tonight. Just some individual things first. I thought it was Brenton Strange's best training camp practice to this point. The second-year tight end out of Penn State, I thought looked very good, had a touchdown where he kind of beat Levante David in the back corner of the end zone. I thought Elijah Cooks maybe made the play of the day, a deep route down the sideline from Mac Jones. Elijah Cooks made another terrific low catch in the middle of the field. Was very impressed by him. Trevor Lawrence, I thought, looked very sharp today. Now, I spent a majority of my time, not all of it, but a majority of it, watching the Jaguar offense against the Tampa Bay defense. I'll try to maybe switch that up tomorrow a little bit and watch more of the Jaguar defense. But from the the Jaguar offensive perspective, I thought Elijah Cooks, I mentioned Brenton Strange, Trevor Lawrence certainly, Brian Thomas had a long touchdown catch as well. Parker Washington had a really nice catch in the corner of the end zone in a red zone drill on a great throw from Trevor. I thought it was a good day for the passing offense, all things considering. It was a lot of good work against Tampa. And look, that Tampa Bay team's a good team. People forget they won a playoff game last year, right? They beat Philadelphia in the playoffs. And, man, if you'll remember, they gave Detroit everything they wanted. I mean, absolutely everything they wanted. That game was in doubt with about 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Tampa Bay, you could almost argue, was on the doorstep of the NFC Championship game. So when you get to test yourself against the defending world champions last Saturday for a little bit, like Jacksonville did, you have a team come in for joint practices in the Buccaneers that were among the final 8 left standing last year. That's really good work. That's really good competition, and it should let the Jaguars have a pretty good idea of where they are as camp gets ready to break. I mean, believe it or not, I want to say tomorrow's the last day that's open to the public. The last time the media will be out there for the full practice, I believe, is next week. Keep in mind, they play Tampa on Saturday. The preseason finale is Friday night, the 23rd, against Atlanta, and then it's cut-down day. I mean, I would imagine that weekend, the weekend of the 24th and the 25th, we're talking 10 and 11 days from now, this roster is going to go from 90 to 53. So they've been in camp for over 3 weeks. This was actually 3 weeks to the day that they were actually on the field for training camp. So camp is going to be breaking here very, very soon, and a lot of decisions have to be made. And as I've said through the entirety of this camp, going back to OTAs, going back to rookie minicamp as well, the competition is going to be very, very stiff to make those final roster spots. The depth on this team is the best depth they've had since Trent Baalke has been the full-time GM here, going back 4 years. There are going to be some tough decisions, some tough putts the Jaguars are going to have to make in the coming days to get this roster down to where it is. And then keep in mind, you can bring 16 guys back to the practice squad. So even though they're going to cut 37 and go from 90 to 53, I believe 16 guys is the number that you can bring back to the practice squad, and you would imagine a large majority of those 16 will be from the 37 that the Jaguars will be releasing here in the next 2 weeks. Well, that'll just about do it. It has been a very, very busy Wednesday night edition of Hacker After Dark. We certainly appreciate you guys hanging out with us here on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. We have a ton of people to thank. Again, down in Tampa, my buddy Zach Blobner, WDAE Radio in Tampa. He's our guy when it comes to the Buccaneers. Always enjoy talking Jaguars and Bucs with Zach Blobner. Thank you to former Jaguar Reggie Hayward for joining us in studio tonight, along with his two sons. All his sons are on the Providence football team. Again, high school football. The preseason kickoff classics begin Friday night. The regular season begins on the 23rd. Pretty cool story at Providence. Mo Williams, the former Jaguar offensive tackle, is the head coach. Reggie Hayward, the former Jaguar defensive end, is on the staff. A couple of other former Jaguars all have sons that are on the team, and 4 former Jaguars are on the staff at Providence. That is a cool story, one of many cool stories involving high school football, as, again, we will be under the Friday Night Lights very, very shortly. Our Friday Night Lights debut will actually come on August the 30th here on 1010XL because of the Jaguar-Falcon game on the 23rd. But when we do kick it off on August 30th, that will kick off our 18th season, 18 years under the Friday Night Lights with that post-game show, and we certainly cannot wait for that. So, again, thank you to Reggie Hayward, former Jaguar, for joining us in studio tonight. Thank you to Demetrius Harvey of the Florida Times-Union for stopping by to talk Jaguar training camp, preview Jaguars and Buccaneers on Saturday night. Always enjoy the conversation with Demetrius. And Jaguar linebacker Ventrell Miller was our training camp one-on-one today. As always, thank you to the great Jaguar PR staff for helping us out here on Hacker After Dark. Ventrell Miller is quickly becoming one of my favorite interviews on the team. He's engaging. He's really gives insightful, thoughtful responses, and we certainly appreciate that. I'm sure you do as well. I love talking ball with Ventrell Miller. And again, thank you to Ventrell for joining us this evening. We will be back tomorrow night on a Thursday, and we will do it all over again beginning at 8 o'clock. Another joint practice for the Jaguars and the Buccaneers. We will be down there tomorrow at the Miller Electric Center. We're scheduled to meet with Jaguar corner Christian Braswell as our Hacker After Dark Jaguar training camp one-on-one tomorrow, and certainly looking forward to bringing you that. Dylan Denmark was your producer tonight. Dylan, great job as always. I'm the Hacker Ryan Green. And again, Jacksonville, thank you for spending part of your Wednesday evening with us right here on Hacker After Dark on 1010XL and on 92.5 FM. So for all of us here on HAD, have an absolutely terrific remainder of your Wednesday evening, and we will do it all over again tomorrow night on a Thursday beginning at 8 o'clock. Until then, good night, Jacksonville.
Nothing's happening.